So I was on the gram earlier today and I saw that popular question which said, at what point should a man and woman be splitting the bills 50-50? Right? Like, if they date and they live together and all that good stuff.
Okay.
And I thought about it for a second and I said to myself, me and my wife never had that conversation about who's splitting the bills. Because we're actually building businesses together that pay for the bills.
Got you.
Do you feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
yo. And I thought about that and I said, yo, I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty blessed, but I haven't thought about a bill in like 2 years. Because all my bills are paid for by the company. Do you get what I'm saying? The company that's being built. And me and my wife working together to build this company, the benefit is the bills are paid.
So this is a scenario, two entrepreneurs that is working out.
Well, I think that this is a scenario for everybody. Because you don't got to be an entrepreneur for this to happen. You're asked, like, instead of having a conversation about who's going to be paying 50% of the bill, who's paying that phone bill or paying the mortgage, how about y'all have a conversation about, hey, sweetheart, how can we start a business or create assets where we don't ever got to worry about a phone bill ever again in our lives? That's the difference in mindset. Imagine if y'all had more conversations about assets and legacy and how can we buy this building that's going to create rental income, or how can we flip that property, or how can we start this tax business where we can make 50, 75,000 between January through April, or how can we start this business that's going to generate recurring revenue? If we have conversations like that and y'all thought smart on a financial level, y'all would never have conversations about who's splitting 50% of the bills. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because y'all having legacy conversations, it's building. I want people to have conversations about never having to pay a bill again because your earnings from your assets are paying all of those bills. That's the type of conversations that I think people should be having these days.
So how can two people that are in that workers mentality, though, kind of proceed to that conversation? Because they're not really thinking, because they're thinking, hey, I got this paycheck, I got to put this money aside for this bill, compared to thinking assets. Some people are kind of just caught up in that because they're so worried about caring for other things like children.
That's a great question.
The house.
Now, here's the thing. I don't want people look at assets as a big word. Like when you think asset, the first thing you think of is a house,
yeah.
Right? And people are like, I can't afford to buy a house. Well, that's not what assets mean. Assets is anything that's producing you positive cash flow, revenue, right? Beyond the expense. That's the reason why with the house being an asset, or if I pay $300,000 for the house and it's $500,000 is an asset. I got $200,000 in equity. Anything that's producing positive cash flow is an asset. That could be a business, that could be whatever it may be. But I don't want people to confuse asset with financial like financial literacy. Right?
Yeah.
When you have the skill of financial literacy, when it comes to just your basic level of finances, you're going to be able to master the game of understanding how to purchase assets, how to start businesses, right? But the thing is, y'all need to start having a conversation about y'all personal money that y'all got going on. Are y'all in debt right now? For example, like me and my wife's credit card got out of hand like a couple months ago. Not to say we couldn't pay the whole thing off, but from a personal standpoint, it was like our credit card got out of hand and we like, hey, because we live off of a certain amount of income, of course. Like, and this is one thing I tell, I'm kind of straying off topic. One thing I tell entrepreneurs all the time is that, yo, just because you got a certain amount of revenue coming in, that's not revenue you just spend. As an entrepreneur, CEO, whomever you are, you allocate a certain amount of revenue to a salary. And the reason why me and my wife were able to expand a lot faster than normal is because we pay ourselves very low. And we got to live off of that. So the first thing is y'all need to look at y'all finances. Are y'all in debt right now? Is there some expenses that y'all don't need? Are y'all living above y'all means? Being a CEO of y'all finances, a great steward of your finances, especially as a man with your lady in the household, you need to lead that conversation on finances, making sure that that's in order first. Because a lot of people don't realize how much money they actually have that's leaving the door with like miscellaneous frivolous spending, and let's get that in order first. And after we get that in order as a CEO, I'm just thinking as a CEO, after I get that part of my personal finances in order, now I can allocate a certain amount of funds that I know I can use towards saving it for the asset, whatever that may be. Let's say, I'm gonna just use the example of starting a tax business. If I know that starting a tax business with Jumpin' Jack Tax is gonna cost me $5,000, okay, how can I allocate this money of spending that I have going on now to be able to take that money, save it up to purchase my first asset, which is the tax business? Now, me and my lady need to start thinking about that. Let's not talk about, like, I know the phone bill got to get paid. We still going to do that right now. But let's center our attention around how we can not worry about Sprint ever again, AT&T or T-Mobile ever again. But that comes with us. We need to get to this tax business. How can we get into that tax business? Well, let's focus on our personal finances first. Figure out how we can lower the expenses, get the money necessary, save it up so then we can start that thing. So before you get to the asset, it starts with what you got going on right now. Are you a good steward and CEO of your home, of your kids, your finances, your family, your marriage, your relationship, I don't want people to have conversations about 50-50. Like, what's that?
Yeah. So what it seems like is, even if you do work a 9 to 5, you're at that corporate job, it really doesn't stop you from literally being a CEO.
Absolutely.
Like your wife is your business partner
Yes.
in that home.
You got it. You got it.
Your bills are your expenses.
You got it. You got it. That's exactly what I'm saying to you. You don't gotta, like, I don't want people to think that if you're not an entrepreneur that it removes you from being fiscally responsible. No, you still are a CEO just of your family now, not of a company. But you still got to look at your family as if it were a company. You got your wife, like you said, which is your business partner, or your girl. Your kids are, I don't want to call them employees, but your kids, you gotta put their little asses to work. You know what I'm saying? But your kids are your employees, the people that you're, the ones you're nurturing, you're training. You're teaching them the ropes. The same thing. You're pouring into them. But you and your wife, y'all need to be having meetings every single day. Sitting down. Okay, what are the expenses for today? How much money is coming out of the bank account today, honey? Oh, well, we got the Sprint bill coming out today. We got this. And then yesterday, okay, how much money did we spend yesterday? Oh, I spent $20 on food, and I spent I spent $10 on this. Yo, we spent an extra $40 yesterday that we didn't have to spend. Now, imagine if y'all had a meeting about that. Oh, now, what if we just packed lunch, and instead, now we could have allocated a certain portion of those funds toward putting that in the savings account. So you know what we're going to do, honey? Let's pack lunch tomorrow, and let's try not to spend any money for the rest of this week. And let's see how much money we can transfer over to the savings account by the end of the week. Because one of our short-term goals, one of our family goals is to purchase this tax business, which is our asset. So we want to get that done in 8 months. So Now this is how deep it gets as a CEO, being fiscally responsible for your family. If we trying to get this done in 8 months, how much money do I gotta save in 8 months now to be able to get my tax bill? So if it's $5,000 divided by 8 months, we need to save $625. Are we able to do the $625? $625, you divide that by 30 days. Okay, that's $20 a day. We just spent $20 yesterday on food, which means that if we literally just decided not to spend money on food anymore, we actually can achieve our goal of $625 a month, $5,000 in 8 months, give a call up to the tax company, buy that asset, and if it works out the way it does, now all of our bills can be achieved through the tax business. Do you get what I'm saying? But Definitely. It starts with y'all being CEOs of the family. And then having your kids listening in on this conversation too, so that they know how to put the dots together. But here's what happens. The reason why people are stuck in this 50-50 mentality, because the only time they have a conversation is when something's not paid. Only time they have a conversation is when they backed up. Now we backed up and we having an argument. Y'all should have been having conversations about this well ahead of time. Been pre-planning. Maybe y'all could have got your phone bill lower. Maybe y'all needed to switch to Metro or Boost Mobile because it was better for y'all. Because Metro is on T-Mobile towers anyway. It ain't no better. So y'all got to figure out how to start as a family unit, moving stuff around. But as a man, you are responsible for that. And your queen is very strategic too. So she's going to be able to strategically know how to organize the bills out and show you what's going on, give you all of that. And then as a man, you come and you look at all of the organization and the plan that she put together, and then you look at it, you analyze it, you critique, And then you say, okay, all right, here's the plan. But you need your queen to lay out the battlefield first, like lay out for you to look at it to see what's going on. So y'all play a vital role as partners in this. Don't just wait until the bill's not paid to finally say something, because it's too late by that point. And one of the biggest things I told dudes all the time is you want to board up the house before the storm. You don't want to board up the house during the storm. I did a video on that before, and this is one of those examples of boarding up the house before the storm so that you're able to get to your goal.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all I say. Like, be a great CEO of your family, bro. Make sure you include your queen, and don't worry about no 50-50 split of the bills, because y'all want to get to the point to where y'all both making boss moves, that the bills is paid for by the company. It's not even a discussion.